So, dear students, as we discussed, let's go to the first agenda. How our seminar paper is normally we prepare seminar paper. Most of you, some of the groups have already prepared. Some of you are preparing. Some of you are in the confusion of the layout. We will start procedure. In between, we might use Nepali or English language. Some of them we might have a course switching as well. So, suppose first of all we start with the cover page, as you can see on the screen. First, we start with the cover page. Cover page means here, please take carefully with the other things. You need to be very much cautious with the things like, for example, the first letter. You can see the first letter is always capital, right? Of your title keywords, right? First letter is always capital. So check about the punctuation marks as well, right? And then after you take up, and what is it? This is your seminar paper title. Then to whom you are submitted, write your respective faculty. For example, section A, the respective faculty name here. Here you write the respective faculty, right? There is Prem sir or Guru sir in myself. Then this is common.
Yeah,
right?
you can. Yeah,
yes,
you can write all of our names.
Exactly. You can write 3 of the name as well. That makes sense. Or then after this, Department of English Education, the University, Kirtipur, Kathmandu, this is common. Then why this is the course in partial fulfillment, please check here. As I highlighted here, you can see the first letter are capitalized. Check with these small things because we may not be able to look these minor details and this editing part. Then take care about the report here as I am highlighting some of the things. Please check concern about this stuff, right? Which I've highlighted in yellow color means focus on course code English Education 548. So this is the thing, and submitted by, normally there are 3 or 4, maximum 4. Write your name. If you write your name in an alphabetical order, that sounds great. And then after 4th semester, which section do you belong to? Write your section. This is actually the cover page. And if I make it minimize, the cover page looks like this. Then if we go furthermore, yes, second page, we go with the acknowledgement page. Acknowledgement page, first of all, you write your gratitude to help the things first. Please write in your own words. Don't make all the things copied. First one is a holistic sentence. This is completely a holistic sentence that you gratitude for the different people here, right? Then after you go with the general guidelines to whom you got it. Then you make a acknowledgement to the supervisors or all the 3 sections. Then after you write to acknowledge the respondents, all the respondents who really give you data even in this pandemic situation. And then after, if you have given the name for typist or else, you can go to the 3rd paragraph. And lastly, make a bold of your group name. Then after, you can go furthermore. Yes. Anything to add, Guru sir, in between? Guru sir. Prem sir, anything to add?
I think it's great. So just one minor thing, but our students may not be aware of this fact. Like the acknowledgements should always be plural.
Yeah.
Don't just say acknowledgement.
I just made you a highlight here. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. So I have seen that students are taking
Acknowledgement,
granted, like they just write acknowledgement. So because there are many people that you'd like to acknowledge, so
thank you, sir.
Write acknowledgements.
Then we move to table of contents. Please write table of contents differs from each of the group. So here table of content, keep the list of the contents in the entire seminar paper in this section. You make a table of content, and when you write table of content, 2 things are required. The first thing, you go with the number, right? First, for example, then you go with the title, then you go with the page number. Don't forget this. For example, in the chapter, for example, there might be number 1.1 or 1. Then after there is title, and at the end, the 3rd column, there is page number. Don't forget to go with this stuff. So moving further with the things. Then we go with the abstract. The abstract keep in a single page. Then you write what is your objective. In abstract, you can see what is the objective of your paper first, right? What is the objective of your paper? Then the paper, what is focused in this paper, right? You can write, your language can be different, but the content needs to be similar. Then what about the methodological section? How did you do? Which theory you reviewed, and what kind of data you have taken? And for example, in this sample, the person have taken field work, and interviews are also there. So these things, and finally you have the findings. And next, keywords. There are normally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Normally maximum 5 keywords is better. Keywords particularly mean the words that are repeated in your entire seminar paper, so that when anyone reads your paper, these keywords are frequently used words in your entire paper. You can take it yourself as well. Then next, we go to chapter 1. Please remember, when you write, the first letter should be capitalized. Simple thing you need to understand. And here, this part is justified. The left part in your screen is justified, and the right part is not justified, which we follow APA pattern. Right. Then after, you start we start your idea. This line is your line, what we call your space. You write on your own. You write in your own sentence what the seminar paper is, what it explores, and why, what is motivation factor. You relate the things further. Then after, when you cite out, I have sent you the reference list last time as well when I sent you the email. Motivation is key to learning. Dear students, what we need to understand is, we know this is a very general sentence, but in research practices, citation is very important. Who shared this? When you have a claim sentences, when you have a data, right? When you have data, who shared that? You need to cite like this. And this is called citation. And the end, we have a list of citation that we in a full phase, which we call references. For example, motivation is the key to learning, Donai 2001. And this should be, when you cite here, it should be in the reference list. Let me make it more clear. The list of books or articles or journal articles or book chapters or other sources that you mention in the reference list should be mentioned in the entire citation, or the things, if you those resources or those reviews that you cite here should be in the reference list, either vice versa. So take care. Then after, don't only cite, also put your space. Means write your own language. Motivation plays important role in learning the things, and mainly 2 types of motivation: intrinsic, extrinsic. You focus. Then when you say, look at the date, recent, the better. For example, this is almost 2000. We are in 2020. You explore in different sources. I think these ideas will be, for example, ResearchGate. There are different sources. Even if you simply log in the Juster for the entire September, it's still free. Then after, what the person says. For example, if you see the definition when you cite, you cannot cite more than 40 words, dear students. Don't forget. Here, if I go very quickly, there is only 23 words in this quotes or unquote. And please explore where to use single inverted comma, where to use double inverted comma. If you are citing the whole sentence, use double inverted comma. If you are citing the technical term in between, you use single inverted comma. And don't forget, whole times, if you see on the screen, the font, एउटा पेजमा एउटा font, अर्को पेजमा अर्को font नगर्ने. It's entirely Times Roman, Times New Roman, sorry. Then after, you have an analysis, and not only don't make a citation of blocks, but why did you do? You put your space here. For example, we chose this topic and this considering it's important to be studied as a usual motivational factors in learning English to MIT students along the comparative study of extrinsic and intrinsic motivational factors. So please take care. And why? For example, you justify the reasons, and this is basic thing in introduction. You don't need to 2, 3, 4, 5 page introduction, but your idea, your title, your interest should link the introduction. Then we go to problem, research problem. Research problem here occurs to why you want to conduct the study. What is the problem? If I give you a simple example, when you have fever, you only take paracetamol tablets. So fever is a problem and paracetamol tablet is a solution. So here, what is the problem in your title? What is the problem in your research? So that it motivated you to conduct such seminar paper or such study. Please mention in research problem. So here, for example, the study intends to analyze the motivational factors in learning English to MD students. The nature of motivation differs, and here the study focused on usual motivation. Here is the problem: learning becomes meaningful if learners learn with some kind of intent, there is sometimes some kind of intention regarding the use of learned things, and motivations are taken as a key successful learning. Then here general studies, what general study shows, and here the person says next there is a gap between the learners percentage enrolled in primary level and higher level. The reason behind this may be many, but there are hidden motivational factors as such. Reason are the psychological factors. You can start from the query, you can start from the brainstorming questions, then you can link it the idea with the motivation factors. Then here we come with the objective of study. When you say the objective of study will be, in proposal we use will be. It is a research report, seminar report, so that we use past tense. Before I proceed further, anything to add, Guru sir, Prem sir?
It's great, Ashok sir. So okay, yes sir.
Thank you, sir.
Can we go up to introduction?
Yes, sir.
So yes, basically we have also had I think I forgot, but we had a discussion as well how to write a good introduction, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Okay, sir.
so yeah, basically you have you create the context. It would be scholarly context or the context of your research, and then you establish a niche. Niche is like gap, and then the third stage is like restating the niche. So what is your study about? What is your purpose about? So but my reflection is all of you have try to do really good, but what I see is you are just trying to say what others have said. You have to say we like in this study we want to investigate this. So please use like first person pronoun like we, because that is what you have done actually. So that is very important. So that is what I
yes, to add, Prem
so
sir,
just make it clear.
Thank you, Prem sir.
So,
And
most of, can I say something? Most of our yeah, it's very interesting. Like you write your introduction, general background, very broad. For example, you start writing with English language teaching in Nepal started by Janga Bahadur Rana. It doesn't make sense. You have to really focus on the topic of your research. Don't focus on really broader context. So that's very important.
thank you, sir. Thank you. And to my knowledge, yes, there were around 5 to 6 papers which we looked at, which actually Prem sir has given the feedback line by line, word by word, so that you should have missed. Or sometimes you can have a peer review of each other work. This is the main reason we have not given you an individual work. We have given you the work in the group, dear students. So moving further, I discuss about objective of study. Then you start with the review. When you review, you can review book chapters, you can review let's say books, you can review articles. And for example, in this study, this is a report from last year, and try to, if possible, try to include recent one. For example, it is 2018. Now, just 2 years ago, the research has been cited here. And how does your document, which document, firstly, secondly, thirdly, look at the discourse markers that you are using it in the title. So then after, dear students, this is simply a sample only done by your earlier group. We are taking it as a final work, but this, I think, or we think, this will help you to guide further. that this is why we are trying to show. There might be few lapses as well, right, Guru sir?
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
That's good.
Then after we start from the recent one, Taksi 2018 investigated, and you link with the review. There should be a bridging between review and your title work. And when you review, select the researches that matches with your title. अलिअलि खोज्नु पनि पर्यो यहाँले, जस्तै एउटा आर्टिकल पढ्नुभयो, त्यो आर्टिकलको रिफरेन्समा त्यो लिस्ट अफ साइटेसन हुन्छ नि, लिस्ट अफ रिफरेन्स हुन्छ, त्यसबाट पनि that is called when you explore a kind of snowball way that you can explore the other resources. कहिलेकाहीँ कतिपय साथीहरूले भन्नुहुन्छ हामीले त यो त भेट्दै भेटेनौँ, कसरी भेट्ने, पहिलेको लागि तपाईहरुले खोज्नु पनि पर्यो, खोज्दाखेरि एउटा आर्टिकल भेट्यो.
Can I say something, Ashok?
Yes sir.
I have read some of your literature review, but you have just put literatures together. It looks like a bibliography as well, just bibliography. So meaning that you have like you have title of the article, you have author and the title of the article, and you have simply summarize
exactly
the article, and you have compile them, and you have considered it as a literature review. त्यस्तो चाहिँ literature review हुँदैन है. So literature review should be organized well as a whole, like as a composite whole. So meaning that there should be link between the literature. I mean the one literature should be closely related to another literature. The literature review like that, you don't have to have this, the title of the article for each, article. So just have literature review and then discuss which literature you are. So just have like author surname and then year, and then what they have actually done, what was the purpose of their study, what was the method, and what was major findings. In some readings, so maybe there is no empirical part, like no methodology, because they haven't done any research.
Yeah.
They have simply reviewed previous studies and books, something like that. And you can simply state their arguments and link with your own. And then next thing is, you can also have like themes under to organize literature. For example, if you are reviewing literature related to motivation, you can say, for example, one under review of the related literature, one theme could be, for example, intrinsic motivation for second language learning, right? And within that theme, so you can have a number of, or let's say 2, 3, 4 literature that deal with the intrinsic motivation in second language. Maybe another theme could be extrinsic motivation. Exactly. In second language.
Yes, sir.
I'm just giving an example. Yes, thank you.
I think we have 1 hour left, or 1 hour 30 minutes left, because we have some of them have already shared that they are joining from the data, and in the chat box they have a comment that they are trying. There is some problem in their connection or sound. Can you hear the sound, Prem sir and Guru sir?
Ashok sir,
it's
pardon?
good.
Can you hear my sound clearly?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
It's really good.
So dear students, if your sound you are getting disturbed, it might be because of your connection. So take care. We'll also provide you the recording if any problem raised. Then moving further, this is the quick review of, please do the latest. There are different ways of doing the review. For example, you can do the review in an alphabetical order, or you can do the review based on the dates. You put the recent dates earlier, or you can go interchangeably. There are different ways. For example, here in this report, the person have selected first the latest one, then went to the past one, which started from 2018 and goes to 1985. This is how. And lastly, the person have recorded how motivation and these reviews are interlinked to their seminar issue or seminar paper. Then after, I will go further. Then after, the person has selected methods of study in a separate page. Method is particularly designed about which method have you applied. It could be which research design, it could be only also the document review also. For example, the person have selected a document review. This could be respondents, and this is how the person works. Then What about the field work? Next is field work. What have you done for the field work? Purposefully, 4 participants were selected, where they were selected, how long did you take the data? It's mentioned here. And by what was the tool? How did you transcribe? And now the recent thing that we need to also mention, how did you mention the ethical consideration? How did you mention the data privacy? Like Prem sir was saying earlier in the emails I could share, for example, you might have taken an interview and the person might have shared the negative things, and you have listed it, and you have explored or disclosed his or her photo or name, which is out of ethics. So maintaining trustworthiness, maintaining privacy, are some ethical consideration that you need to maintain. So this is what we need
so
to.
that's very important issue, as Ashok sir has mentioned. Please, all of you, please keep in mind that not to put their real name, student's name or teacher's name, whoever you would like to you have included in your study. So just write something like, you can just write, for example, a name, and in bracket you can write pseudonym. So for example, like, if you have interviewed with someone whose name is Kamal, or maybe you can write Hari and just like PSEU pseudonym. So I have, look at the chat box. So just write pseudonym. Is it
Yes.
right? So meaning that you haven't interviewed Hari.
For example, as Prem sir shared here, I'll come to the data here. As Prem sir just shared, for example, you can either talk about, for example, respondent A. In place of respondent A, you write Hari, right? And
right.
Hari, and you write in bracket pseudonym.
Right.
Like this, so that what happens, so that we don't know who Hari is, but as when you write pseudonym in bracket, yes, you have changed the code, not only in the case of name of a person, name of a school, name of an institution. If there are some name which are related, and you should not, for the ethical consideration, for the privacy concern, you should not disclose the real name. It might be good thing, or it might be the other issues to be discussed, right, Prem sir?
Yeah. Also in your thesis, it's
Also,
very
yes,
important
same
not to include. It doesn't matter whether the comments are negative or positive. Ethically speaking, it's not good to disclose the real name and the real institution. So it's very important. Thank you,
So,
Ashok.
and another thing, like when you are making a discussion and finding in discussion, for example, you start with the background, then the recent idea is we also put literature review relating the findings and relating the discussion together. But in your program, it may not be okay. It is okay, right, Prem sir? It is okay if you don't connect with the review, because we don't in this situation, we don't like to make you more panic. So at least you can go ahead. Like, and when you put the data, look at here. When you put the data, put your data like we have done here. Put your data in italic form, not in the general so that we understand that by with the general look layout, this is your data. And another interesting thing is that when you put your data, right? When you put your data, also analyze it very carefully. Sometimes you need to analyze your analysis in a simple setting. If I say in narrative, your analysis, the length of analysis should be bigger, or should be greater, or should be higher than your data. Is it, Prem sir?
Yeah, right. So all of you can do in two ways. So if the quotation or if the data, it's very important, guys. I have read some of your reports, and you have simply said, for example, motivational factors in learning English, and you have said something what the participants have said, and you have explained in your own language, but there is no data. So what we are trying to say here, what data mean is what participants have exactly said, and you can select the most striking thing from the participants, and then you can quote like this. And there are two ways. If it is less than 40 words, and then if you are putting in the same text, you can just put in, I think Ashokji, so if it is it is put in within double quotation mark, so you don't have to italicize.
Okay, yes.
But put it in the double quotation mark. But you can also, if it is more than 40 words, you can also put into the block citation.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Exactly.
Like in the APA style, just like, can you do it, Ashokji?
Yes, sir, please.
For block citation.
Yes, you can make it like if it is more than 40 words. Like what happened is that let me go with this thing. Suppose
I think that is
the data, and let me check the word. We have 100 words here. Let me say this is 54, and I think I should sorry, I should come with the things first. Yes, around 42 words. What you do is up to from here you put this from the things like it shows. Suppose this is the 40 word, and what you do, you put it in the 5 step ahead, that is 4 tab, and then after you make a double right, Prem sir, is it okay?
Yeah.
Block.
So, and you don't have to italicize and
Yes.
quotation mark as
You
well.
don't have to italicize. For example, you don't have to italicize. Yeah, like this. What we understand, this is the thing that you have cited, and this is our 40 words. You cannot make a block more than 40 words, and the space between these two lines is 2 double space. And here, if you go with the spacing, there is a 5 space or 0.5 tab. This is the technical things that you need to mention.
Yes, so please don't misunderstood that, like respondent A opines should be in the same line. This is just an example.
Exactly, just I checked.
Yeah, but what should be block cited is, what should be block cited is their idea. So
and another,
yes.
And to add, Prem sir, another idea is like please check the things data. Sometimes your friend or your respondent might say the wrong grammar. You have no rights to check the rewrite their content, but if they are grammatically wrong, you can simply correct the grammar in their narratives as well. So we need to think up that factor also. जो मान्छेले त्यही कुरा भन्नु त्यही कुरा ठ्याक्कै सार्ने होइन कि उहाँको ग्रामर चाहिँ एटलिस्ट बेसिक अन्डरस्ट्यान्डिङ चाहिँ बनाइदिनु होला भन्ने तपाईहरुलाई आग्रह हो. And the next is sometimes your data might be very longer, 4 or 5 lines, so you can select the data, like, and for example employment means, yeah, and you can just skip some of that and put 3 dots. 3 dots means you have skipped something and just drew the key item from your narrative is also understood like this. This is what in narrative Prem sir was commenting in the email. I could see, please first thematize, do in the rough copy first, or though you can do the in the notes in your computer, that's fine. Then only go for data analysis. That helps you more easier for understanding. Then dear students, likewise we go with the data, and another thing is that, yes, finding one, this is the theme. This is called actually the red highlighted one that I could see for you is the if I highlight it very in a red form, this is theme. You have data, you have measure, and your findings should be in accordance with in line with the objective and methodology. Objective number 1, then you describe findings. Objective number 2, then you go in a serial order. Then you get thematized and you present the background. Then you put the data. Then you analyze. Then you put the data. Then you analyze, and you can have final analysis as well. Then like this, we put in a data and analysis. Then after this is a fine, and then after you can go to the conclusion. What is the major idea from your seminar paper? You go with the conclusion and you define your, not my conclusion, that's your group conclusion and analysis. And then after you go with the reference section, as I told you. And when you write reference section, please write in an alphabetical order. I have already sent you which one. For example, like here, look at the ideas. The first letter in the journals, right? The first letter in the journals are capitalized. You can see there. But what happened in the books? Normally, the first letter is only capitalized, right? Others are not capitalized. Here, look at the things here. The first and second one. So what to cite? you have to look the format. Then after, at last, if you have any questions, you can put an appendix section and keep a sample of your tool here. This is how you prepare the right, you prepare the seminar report, and you can work further. Now, Guru sir, anything to add? Please add the things. Over to you, Guru sir. Guru sir, are you there? Yeah, you are muted, Guru sir. You can unmute yourself.
Okay, yes. So thank you, Ashok sir, for this wonderful sharing. From my own experience, I face 3 problems from my students. The first thing is related to statement of the problems. Most of the students repeat the same thing, whatever they have written under introduction section in problem statement. But in statement of problem or the research problem is different from the thing that you present in introduction section. In research problem, so you be specific the problem that you want to raise, so that you can simply state the problem which is addressed in this seminar paper is like this. Present the problem, then explain why are you interested to work with this problem. What's your motivation to working with the problem you have stated? The second thing. And third thing is explain what would it bring after all. So what sort of contribution would you like to make with the problem you want to investigate in or you investigate on? This is the thing I would like to say under the problem statement or research problem. And the second thing is, yes, sir.
Yes, Guru sir, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Second problem is in literature review. So in literature review, student, you just write, for example, yes, for example, you say Richards 2006 studied on it, and the participants were, the methodology was like this. But you give more attention to the findings. What were his or her findings? And how those findings help you, how those findings contribute you, or what sort of implication did you derive from those findings? That is important.